Hello, this is Robert Smith. I'm here in Volendam, the Netherlands. And so what I'd like to do is just answer a question that some have asked me. And here's one of the questions. It says, what's the difference between using words and just tapping? Sometimes when you're demonstrating tapping in your YouTube videos, you speak a lot and your clients repeat these words. Sometimes you almost don't speak. So what is the importance of the spoken words when you're tapping? Thank you for your help. All right, so the difference in tapping, speaking out loud, and then tapping. When I'm doing demonstrations, there is a difference in when I do different types of demonstrations. Like when I do YouTube videos or live demonstrations on in the training, So the difference is when I'm doing, like the stuff you see on YouTube, this is done publicly in a public demonstration. And so there's a lot of things I do differently when you do it in person as far as a private session and then also publicly. So when you're tapping, like if you're tapping on yourself, you don't have to say words unless you just feel comfortable doing that. The most important thing is aiming inwardly how you know you have a problem. Like if you have a visual construction or kinesthetic or even the words, you can tap that way. When I do the training and when I train people to work on other people, the most important key is what we call diffractionation. Diffractionation is the ability to pull you out of the problem, which is a trance, and have you speak and do other things. You don't have to speak outwardly or inwardly unless that's how you process information, but the most important thing is to create changes. Again, when you're working on yourself, you can talk out loud, talk to yourself and tap, or you just internally notice what you're feeling. Another thing, if you speak a different language, some people ask, well, should you do it in English or in your native tongue? Well, the most emotion usually will be in your native tongue. That means if you speak Greek or Italian or Spanish, and this is where your emotional states are, so aim and say it in your own language. Now, English is a unique language by itself. It also has its great states depending on where you're coming from. So you don't have to say it out loud, or you can, whichever works the best for you. When I'm doing public demonstrations or when I'm even in private, if I see that the client is more in their stuff and not coming out of the trance, I will have them talk. I'll have them say what I say, follow what I say what I say, or not. Just depends on how fast the changes are happening. So you can or you don't have to. It's just whatever works. So I hope that makes sense. You can say it out loud or not say it. The most important thing when I'm a practitioner and I'm working on you is I can get measurable shifts and changes in the shortest amount of time. Sometimes talking takes too long. We can make changes faster. All depends on how your brain works and also how effective the changes are as we're doing the tapping. Hope that makes sense. Also, those of you who've been watching my YouTube channel, watching my videos on YouTube, all of these are live demonstration style tapping. When I train my practitioners, I train it totally different. And so there's a difference in what I do publicly and what I do privately in session. More dynamic, deeper changes. We get a good intake about how you create your problems, and then we start making the changes in a really, really fast as we can possible way. Anyway, this is Robert Smith, and always take full ownership of your emotional state and well-beings. Feel what you feel, release what you're feelings, change what you can change, and always practice doing good things. Talk to you later. Peace.